What I just realized is I never showed my transcripts. And I've had a lot of people doubt me that I never graduated because I didn't graduate in the year I was supposed to. I should have graduated in 2003, and instead I graduated in December of 2004. So a year and a half after I should have, because I had to set out a semester. I went through a pretty, how do I put this? I grew up in the country, pretty isolated from all the demons and monsters in the world that can consume you. You know, demons and monsters. You know, just the drugs, the alcohol, the sex, the all that kind of fame, fortune, all these things that can kind of lead you astray. And I grew up from in a place where the nearest city was pretty far. I mean, it was very small. I don't know how many people live there. I'd say the population, but I graduated with like 120 people, something like that. So it was a very small town, relatively innocent people. I had a mom who was, I would say, borderline overprotective. She was just trying to protect me from the things she didn't want me to, know about. But the danger when I went to college was the reality is that those things are in life. They're there. You can't protect someone from all those things forever. It's just impossible. And I became susceptible to that. And I'm curious. I'm sorry. I am as curious as they're built. Like on how I always look at our creation as like a periodic table of like personality. It's like you get so much humor, you get so much smart, so much wit, so much whatever, like these scales and all these different attributes. And it's like whatever the curiosity attribute is turned up way high on me. Like I want to know about everything. I'm fascinated by everything. I just feel like Christopher Columbus in a way. I just got to figure everything out. I can't let it go. Like some people, I think it's great when people are just fine, can just enjoy life and know what life's all about. And I respect that. But I am someone who's not like that. And I just want the right to exist as well. So, Jesus, I'm already off track. I came to show my transcripts because people, I didn't graduate with my class, and I went through this period of experimenting due to my curious nature and due to not really seeing a lot of the things I was exposed to when I didn't have parentals and I didn't have, all my friends and people that I was familiar with telling me what to do. And I went to a university where it's typical to, most people, I think it's like 75% Greek. And I didn't rush or join a sorority. So I had a boyfriend, and, he was, he smoked weed. And so I started, people say weed's the gateway drug. And I mean, I'm like, maybe that's true. I don't know. But it was the gateway for me. I'm just keeping it completely real. But at the same time, like I hadn't had any opportunity to really do anything like drink. All these things were pretty, I mean, I drank at my prom night, I think. And then like just a couple other, no, my senior year, I did go out more with a certain person to a certain different school, and we did drink more. But there for a minute, I just almost forgot about that. But it was my senior year. I was just starting, and then I went into college, and then I was just like, oh my God, it's circus, And so I got led astray for a little bit, but I'm not necessarily saying that it was a bad thing. God says He can use all things that are bad for the good of those who love Him. And one thing's for sure, I may not have it all accurate. I may be completely wrong, but I know I love the Lord, and I know I'm trying. So, I feel like He'll work out any of the things I say sinfully because I'm just ignorant. I hope He'll make up for that for me, because I love Him. So my education and my transcripts are pathetic. Like it's shameful to me to even share because I was always half there. I was also juggling a serving job on the weekends and a couple nights a week at the Cheesecake Factory during school. I had an internship at Sim2K, technology consultants at the time. I was also for a very short stint, I ended up quitting the Colts, but I was a Colts cheerleader for a minute. I couldn't juggle everything. And on top of that, I was partying. That was all during the same time. So I was everywhere. And you can see after I come back from sitting out a semester, because I had to move home, and I worked at Rivers in Albany, Indiana, actually typing dance costume labels onto dance costumes, I talk about labels, and it's kind of ironic that was my job, and it was the most boring thing on the planet, and I knew that I had to go back to school somehow, and I'm glad that I was able to do that. But, so my GPA sucks. My grades after the fact aren't so bad, but here are my transcripts. My degree, can you see? I can't. My degree is in marketing. My grades are, like, awful. The classes I took are kind of... You can see right here this semester, they're backwards, but I had to retake both of these semesters. That was, don't do drugs, kids. These 2 semesters. And then this page gets much better. I finally got into my major of marketing. You don't get into it really until your junior year. And I did much better in all those kind of classes. It was all the core classes that I really struggled on. But anyway, you get the point. So I don't have my degree anymore. I think I still owed Butler like $400 or something. They wouldn't give it to me, if I remember right. But I just wanted to point that out because I went to do it in the video and I never did, and I wanted to make sure to show those because I think kids can learn from good and bad. Like, I don't like it when people give, like, for example, right now, Miley Cyrus a hard time. You know, like, she's just being 20 years old in front of the world. When I was 20 years old, I was doing the same. I was twerking. Better believe that. You know, I was lucky I had a boyfriend the whole time, very solid, you know, to keep me somewhat sane all the years I was in college. So that kept me from going down other roads. But, you know, we did all that stuff together and in a very intimate group of people who I still love and adore our time together when we were all experiencing that, whatever that, when you get into that world, it's like a dream you don't wake up from sometimes. That's why people have addiction problems, and it's hard to come back from that because you can't sometimes differentiate reality. But it also shows you, I mean, in the Bible it talks a lot about what is unseen, and it's not about what is seen, it's what is unseen. So there's a part of me that wonders if that was like you know, some sort of like Narnia closet into heaven, because there a reason we get addicted to heroin after the first try, because you want to feel good. That's just indicative of how painful this world is and how much pain people are really suffering with it. They need an escape, and that's all people are chasing with the different addictions, whether they be, you know, innocent things that people don't hate on other people, like shopping addictions and being a hoarder, or whether it's an addiction to a drug. An addiction is an addiction, same as sin is a sin is a sin. He said a sin is a sin at the thought, at just the thought. So get off me about the sinning, because I can't monitor your thoughts, and I only see you every so often in these different places. I don't see you behind closed doors. So please don't come at me about my sins ever again, please. But I'm saying good people like Miley, you know, want to give her a bad time and say, you know, it's bad for the children. But the point is, kids need to be able to see, because the demons are out there. Like, I was a kid, I was the most good, you know, innocent as they really could come at that point, I think, and they're going to have to learn how to face it, and it exists, and some kids get caught up into it, and they can't learn from your mistakes. They have to make their own mistakes and learn from those, but you have to be there to support them, and you can't just say, you're making mistakes, so I'm out until you stop making mistakes, because, I mean, you always need your parents. So, like, what I'm trying to point out is like, I want to point out all my bad things, too, because I want people to learn from what I made mistakes and got stuck to. I'm stuck to these, you know, habits right now. They're my crutches. I'm a different person when I can't smoke. I freak out. I cry, oozing style. Like, it's not pretty right now. It keeps myself stable so that I can get through this, whatever this time is I'm facing right now. And doing things like this is very therapeutic to me and a very better avenue of counseling, because I talk to friends and they use a lot of what I say as ammunition against me, when it's just me going through. I don't necessarily believe everything I think. I'm just weighing everything out, all the possibilities. So when I made mistakes like that, and it cost me, my mom and stepdad, you know, helped pay for some of my education, but I'm suffering the brunt of those loans now, my inability to pay for them, and the fact that, you know, going off on those, experiences of life costs me. And so before you make those options, I'm not saying whether I would have done it still or not. I don't want to say that. I'm just saying be sure you know what's at the end of the road before you take it. That's like begin with the end in the mind. And begin with the end in mind. Know where that path is going to lead you. And then don't even open that door if you don't like where it's going to lead you, because you'll be stuck to it or it'll kill you. Kill your spirit. So anyway, that's all I wanted to clarify, was that I did graduate. I do have a degree. I didn't get the best grades, but I made up for it later. When I calmed down and I was older, I had a natural interest for marketing and all these other books that I have laying around here that I will get into, that I use in everything that I write. I will get into all of that. I'm about to unfold where I come from. I'm just starting from an intro broad view. And people who tell me what I say is unfounded, I'm about to found it.